How y'all doing today? My name is Mizuki the Ninetail Paladin. I'm glad you stumbled upon this video, or hope you did. But anyways, enough of the cringe. We are doing the Entering Heaven event from Goddess of Victory Nikke. And we're just gonna jump right into it. Blech. Viper, my throat hurts. Seriously? Doesn't anyone ever clean up around here? Why is there so much dust? Should I eat it all? Would that make my throat stop hurting? Don't. It'll only make it worse. Oh, okay. Thanks, boss. Now then. The tip we got said they've been sighting of dangerous people coming and going around here. Jesus, that's a... I don't know why my brain tripped up on... Reading's hard. Viper looks around the area. I see a whole bunch of dust, but no signs that anyone's actually been living here. Yeah. There aren't even any light fixtures. Spotting something shady in the dark. I wonder what it was. Viper, boss. Over here. There's stuff written all over the wall. There's literal writing on the wall. Viper turns on her phone's flashlight and shines it on the wall Jackal is pointing at. What is this? The wall is covered in words written in red. Traitors, hypocrites, you abandon us. And what's that in the center? Light is our right. Heavenly ascension. Do you think Heavenly Ascension is behind this? Hard to say. I thought they've already taken care of all that. I did. Now it looks like a little investigation is warranted. I'll handle it. By yourself? Yeah. Each stares at the wall, filled top to bottom of writing. I'm pretty sure this is a message meant for me. First, we're gonna get the challenge out of the way real quick. Alright, to the yeah. We'll need to pick up. Damn, this is kind of a banger, what? I don't have EH yet. I think I'm just gonna I'll just get her off banner. I'm more worried about I end up getting Takina and Chisato. Literally first 10 roll on Takina's banner. I got her, and I just ended up buying Chisato with Pity. I'm close to having another buy with Pity, but I'm just gonna wait until the next anniversary event. Can't remember if it's the main or the half anniversary, but I'm just gonna end up saving. I'm gonna save up resources to get the Nikkeis on the anniversary event, because I'm assuming it's gonna be either it's gonna be. I don't know if they're gonna drop them in the same banner, but I can definitely see it being on Anis and Neon. I'm gonna have to like that song later. I do. Nikkei's OST is probably one of the best gacha game OSTs ever. Come on, come in. Thanks for making time. I know how busy you are. You said it was urgent. What's going on? It's about a terrorist group from the Outer Rim. Heavenly Ascension. Do you remember them? Of course. They were behind a lot of terrorist attacks in the Ark. Crow used them to blow a hole in the Dome of Eternity. Then do you know who founded Heavenly Ascension? I do. Good, that makes us quick. As you know, EH is the one who founded Heavenly Ascension. I like how it's like, oh yeah, I remember who it is. And then it's like, we're gonna tell you anyways. Right? Why are you telling me this now? After the attack on the Ark, EH expressed a desire to atone for her sins. She asked to become a Nikkei so she could take responsibility for what she'd done. As part of the deal, she was forbidden from leaving the Outer Rim. A bomb was placed around her neck and she became the leader of Exotic, agreeing to dismantle Heavenly Ascension herself. Bomb around her neck. I see a claymore duct taped to her fucking molly. To her molly. Those of you who don't know, it's molly is short for molly strap carrier. It is basically a like a plate carrier, but it has a mounting system called molly straps. So there's straps that are sewn in at increments. Well, to slide in and button in like pouches and accessories and stuff. Some of the accessories are they're looped, so they fit into the segmented loops in the molly straps. You could some accessories come in with metal buttons, the metal pin buttons. Or sometimes I have seen in cases the accessories do have their own Velcro on their loops. Like, for example, mag pouches and stuff. But I'm not doing a great job explaining it, but I hope you got the idea. But that bomb's not around her neck. It's a fucking claymore shaped charge on the fucking on her fucking molly. Those who left the group under EH's orders were spared their lives, while those who didn't were punished for the terrorist attack. And Heavenly Ascension was thereby declared disbanded. I had no idea that all happened. However, there's an issue. Since then, the remnants of Heavenly Ascension were quiet. Or at least, we hadn't seen any signs of activity from them. Not gonna lie. I'm gonna break this a little bit. Ingrid can fucking get it. Not gonna lie. She's a bit of a baddie. With them hair and her boobles. And that thigh gap, god damn. Recently, though, we received intel that they've started moving again. Didn't you just say the group was dismantled? It was, but then reports started coming in. Light is our right, heavenly ascension. That's their most famous slogan, and it's been written all over the Outer Rim. Could it just be some copycat, though? Of course, that's entirely possible. But we also can't rule out the possibility that there are remnants of the group still around. If so, EH's report, dismantling Heavenly Ascension has been false. May have been false. God, why couldn't I get the S out? A ruse meant to protect what remains of their group. At least, that's one theory. The suspicion got pointed at her. It's not unreasonable for the central government to come to that conclusion. After all they see when they look at EH is the former head of a terrorist organization. That's why they're asking me to look into what's really going on with her. Do you think she lied? I don't know. I can't say. I don't want to give my opinion first and influence your judgment. Besides, let's just say I'm not fit to judge. What do you mean by that? For now, I want you to see EH in person to determine whether she's involved in this or not. You were one of the victims of the attack, but you also have a long history of treating Nikkeis without prejudice. If there's anyone who can remain impartial here, it's you. They do have some fire pussy, not gonna lie, man. Some Nikkei baddies can get it. Alright. I'll meet with her. I definitely think I'm gonna, with the story mode stuff, I'm going to revisit the whole story, and I think I'm just gonna have... I'm probably gonna take my time with it, but I'm gonna redo all the story again, but like without my shenanigans. Who knows? You're really going through with it? Yeah, I was asked to. Were you able to get in touch with her? No, she's not answering any messages or calls. That's not good. Whatever's really going on, this whole situation's suspicious. We're finally caught up in at least with the timeline with the events. With, at least with Rappy in her new form. Because a lot of the events before did not have Rappy updated. It's nice to know in the side events we're starting to catch up to the current timeline. I advise keeping up your guard, Commander. Regardless of whatever EH intends, something's already in motion. You can't do as you're always done and blindly trust someone because they're a Nikkei. Don't worry. How can I not? Let me come with you. It's dangerous to go alone. If we move as a group, we'll draw too much attention. We're fairly well known, you know. Even so, it's better than being defenseless. I just don't want to provoke them. Regardless of who's doing this, their recent actions have been bold. True, but I don't want to escalate things and drag innocent people into it. Though I don't think going at it alone is strategically a good idea. That's why I've already contacted someone else. Someone else? Wait, you don't mean... That's exactly who I mean. I forgot fucking Vipers, not Vipers, Crows reload. Crows reload is just her tossing her SMGs and grabbing new ones. Honey. Viper. It's been a while. It's unlike you to be the one to call first. I just haven't been able to reach EH. Oh, I don't mind the reason. I'm just happy you reached out first. Right. Commander. I'm so happy to see you. Yeah? Thanks for coming out. Don't mention it. So you're looking for our boss too, huh? Yeah, I heard a Heavenly Ascension's on the move again. And I wanted to ask her about it. Yeah. We've been tracking them ever since we found signs of their activity. You've been tracking them too? Who do you think first found the wall with the slogan written on it? It was us. But a few days ago, after we found a certain wall, she said she'd look into it her own. We haven't been able to reach her since. She's not responding to you either? Have you tried going out and looking for her? You bet. I ran around everywhere trying to catch her scent. But I couldn't smell her anywhere. So we didn't find her. I see. Can you show me the wall you found before she disappeared? Of course. It's deep inside the outer rim, though. Are you sure you're up for it? It hasn't been upkept for a long time. To the point that there aren't even any lights. It's dark and dangerous. It's dark and dangerous, ooh. It shouldn't be a problem with you two around, right? Oh my. Here you were so guarded earlier, honey. And yet now you're putting your trust in me? I don't see any reason for you to betray me. I suppose that's true. Are you going to double cross me again? Of course not. I wouldn't do anything like that again. Not now or ever. I'm not going to betray you, honey. I swear. Alright, I'll trust you. Thank you. Viper said thank you. But I'll say it too. Thank you, Commander. Now, as a sign of our trust and commitment, how about a handshake? A handshake? A handshake. Viper extends her hand. You said you trusted me and you're not, and yet you're already hesitating. I would never do anything to hurt you, honey. I swore, remember? Alright. I take Viper's hand. Your hands are so warm. Viper lets go of my hand. Good. I'm all charged up now. Follow me. Oh my god, I'm streaming? I thought I hit recording. Oh my god, I'm crazy. Whatever. I didn't even know I hit stream. I thought I hit recording. That's wild. Damn, I really am tired. Oh well, we're gonna keep going. Huh. The stream's been on the whole time, huh? Oh well. Following Viper and Jackal's lead, I head deeper into the outer rim. There really aren't any streetlights around. It's dark, huh? Heavenly Ascension never exploit this area. Oh my god, developed. Jesus Christ. That's why there aren't any lights. Heavenly Ascension developed areas. The entire Outer Rim used to be like this. It was already dark enough without the Dome of Eternity. But with the partition blocking the way, barely any light from the Ark could get in. EH changed that. She said people shouldn't live in a place this dark. And so she dug through piles of scrap to find light bulbs. Ran electrical lines through the buildings that were still standing. And installed street lights all over the place. Okay, see, now that's interesting. Because that implies that the Outer Rim... Okay, so the Outer Rim was being developed and believe that it's that means that the Ark was originally intended to move. The Outer Rim was meant to be an expansion. So there were already pre-existing buildings, but they abandoned it. So why did they abandon it? Was it just purely material cost, or was it something else happened? After that, people started following her, even though she was an outsider. An outsider? EH? You didn't know? What do you think EH stands for? Do you not know her real name? I think I heard it was Elysian Harper. So you know her name, but not that she was an outsider. Since it's Elysian that sent you, I figured they would have told you everything. Sounds like that's not the case. Is there more I should know? It's probably better if you hear everything from EH directly. It's all really personal stuff. So I think wouldn't it be right for me to talk about it? She's our boss, you know, and I want to respect that. For now, just know that EH was originally an outsider who came into the Outer Rim on her own. Alright. You two seem to be on pretty good terms with her. Ooh, with EH? I mean, it's not like we were strangers before. We already knew she treated her people well, even back when she led Heavenly Ascension. Once she actually became our boss, though, that's when we really understood why people liked her. Yeah, boss treats me well. He does say I can't bite whatever I want, though. There's a lot of things she tells me not to do. I don't like that. I want to chomp stuff. She says no. That's because you keep eating weird things and getting stomach aches. Oh, really? Then I like boss. She's nice to me. Fucking Jackal, you fucking crackhead. I didn't really expect that. After what happened with the attack on the Ark, I figured things would be more strained between you. You think so, right? I did too, so when EH first became our boss, I just flat out asked her. And then... What a surprise. You're the EH and now... You're here to lead Exotic. Did you volunteer for it? Yeah. Really? But we stabbed you in the back. Are you really okay working with us? Yeah. I've said this before when we found out her name was Elysian Harper. I'm pretty sure she is either was part of the family that founded Elysian, or she was the leader of Elysian and just didn't like how the Outer Rim was being treated. So she left to go help them out. Wow, very impressive. Oh, unless you're here to try to reform us former criminals. Is that it? Of course not. My hands aren't clean either. Still, you're different from us. You had clear convictions. Ideals and intentions don't make a mistake any less wrong. I have no intention lecturing you two, as though I'm somehow innocent. I joined Exotic because this squad is the only one operating in the Outer Rim. And I figured I can protect this place. I have no resentment towards you, and no desire for revenge. We can't change what happened. Now we're all paying our own price. That's all there is to it. I had no idea you were the type who makes life harder than it needs to be. Not that I mind. Funny straight arrow too. You remind me of him in that way. Okay then. I look forward to working with you, boss. Me too, boss. Likewise. Why do you get hoodie? You know what? At least with this being a stream, it's gonna be for exporting. All the exporting will be done on the back end. So I don't have to keep my computer on for fucking hours trying to upload a video to you. God, that shit takes forever. I still need to upload the last Black Cause Recoil video. And that was that. You get it now? She's got a good heart. Despite everything we did to her. That's why I don't think she's trying to rebuild Heavenly Ascension. I realize you might not believe all that because it's coming from me. But I do hope y'all hear her out at least once. Don't worry. That's why I'm here. That's the kind of honey I know. Let's get going. We're almost there.
あれ全部噛みちぎればいいんでしょ。手持ち無沙汰だ。しょうがないもんだね。これがバニールピーの経済力だぞ。
I follow Viper and Jackal into a rundown house. As we enter, our footsteps stir up a cloud of dust. I'll never get used to this dust. I hate this place. It makes my nose and throat hurt. Then, do you want to wait near the entrance? It shouldn't be as bad there. Okay. This is the last place you saw EH. Yeah, that's right. See that wall? Viper shines her phone light on the wall. Words like traitor and hypocrite are scrawled all over in red. How could you abandon us? Words of resentment. Die central government lapdog, as well as some curses. There it is. In the familiar refrain, light is our right, heavenly ascension. Heavenly ascension slogan. So this is what she saw. Yeah, she said it was a message meant for her. Probably from someone who resents her for breaking up heavenly ascension. If that's the case, it means she's a target. And if she's been unreachable ever since, she might be in danger. Yeah. Given that she was strong enough to hunt down Nikkeis even when she was human, I have a hard time imagining something happening to her. But when people harbor a grudge, you never know what'll happen. Possible she came back here at some point. Let's check the house one more time for any clues. Alright. Jackal, it's time to stop playing out there. We need to see if we can find any signs that the boss was here. Aw man, inside there, my nose is clogged from all the dust and my throat hurts. Then just use your eyes. Oh, right! Okay. I'll help find boss. However, no matter how much we searched the house, there was no trace of the H. Ugh, there's nothing here. Maybe she didn't come back. Viper, my nose really hurts. I can't take it anymore. Yeah, we can stop. This isn't good. We can't just go searching through the outer rim. For now, let's step outside, honey. Staying in here can't be good for you. Yeah, let's go. Hurry, hurry. Let's go. Viper, Commander, hurry! Okay, okay, we're coming. Before following Jackal and Viper out through the entrance. Huh? I glance at the writing on the wall one last time. Huh? What's wrong? Something catch your attention? No, just taking one look at... Looking closely at the phrase, light is our right, heavenly ascension. I notice a small groove etched into the word light. What's this? I press my hand against it. Huh? The power of sleuthing. The ground gives way beneath me. What the honey? And I drop down. Crash. After a fall that lasts longer than I expected, I slam into the floor below. I have courage. The room is pitch black. Where am I? Huh? You're not Viper or Jackal. Who's there? Something heavy slams into my head. And I lose conscience. Damn, I got whacked. I got knocked the fuck out. Viper, look at her. She's so squishy. Squishy, squishy. Gotta head pet the waifu and squishy, squishy. Sorry, I'm a crackhead. So much blood. I heard someone's voice. Come on, wake up. Oh, she knocked us the fuck out, didn't realize it. EH, do you recognize me? Yeah, I clenched my throbbing head. Throbbing head? Which means the one on your neck, you deckhead. And sit up. Try not to move. Looks like you hurt your head. Right before I passed out, I got hit on the head with something. You did? By who? I think I saw a silhouette of a man, but I couldn't make out anything. I see. I like how her fucking pistol, the freaking grip she has is mounted on via duct tape, even though it's secured by a Picatinny rail. I just realized, hold up a second. Oh, they pulled a modern, like, I know her design definitely looked like some shit you would see from the freaking shitty new Call of Duty Modern Warfares. But they even gave her the stupid gun. It's a fucking AR with a P90 mag on top, which makes no fucking sense. I just noticed that because you can see the mag well still there. Don't worry, I'm not that badly hurt. You shouldn't push yourself. You lost a lot of blood. The wound looks pretty bad. I'm fine. I'm really fine. Ah! Strange chill runs through me. Aside from the cold, I really think I'm okay. Achoo! Mind if I take a look at the wound? You're wearing gloves, right? Yeah. Okay, then go ahead. Just carefully not to touch the blood. Alright. EH comes closer and carefully examines my head. It's completely healed. Judging from all the blood, I'm sure it was a serious injury. And yet, what's wrong? Nothing. Our healing factor is so fucking strong. Did I just see sweat go down the fucking coat? Man, freaking, there's freaking moisture going down the damn coat. I'll leave it to humidity. We'll say it's humidity. He starts to check the rest of my body, starting with my back and arms. Thankfully, it doesn't look like you sustained any other injuries. Still, just because the outside's healed doesn't mean you don't have any internal injuries. And injuries shouldn't be taken lightly. Let's rest here for a while before we get moving. Yeah, sure. You might be right about me not being fully healed. I'm starting to feel colder. Urgh. What are you doing here anyways? Looking for you. Me? Yeah, Ingrid told me Heavenly Ascension's back. Oh, that. Came to confirm whether you're connected to it. Whether I'm connected? You came to check whether I'm behind all this. Seems the central government suspects you. They think you never really disbanded Heavenly Ascension and that you falsified your report. I see. It makes sense for them to distrust me. To them, I'm just a criminal who switched sides to survive. Now they want Ingrid to look into it. Yeah. Then she asked you to investigate and to determine for yourself whether I'm behind this. Yeah, she said she wasn't fit to judge. Not fit? Yeah, I could see her saying that. I'm sorry. You got dragged into this because of me. The fact is, I'm connected to this. The one writing all these things everywhere as if Heavenly Ascension is rising again is sending me a message. He resents me for what I did and considers me a traitor. The fact is, I did put an end to Heavenly Ascension, so it's not like I don't understand where he's coming from. So you figured out who it is? Yeah, I did. We agreed to meet, but when I arrived, I was knocked out with sleeping gas. And that's how you ended up here? He's most likely the one who knocked you out as well. I doubt he expected you to be looking for me. So he must have panicked when he saw you. He did seem confused, muttering something about not being Viper or Jackal. I figured. After hitting you, he must have realized you're connected to the central government. He probably put you in here with me, figuring that if we died together, suspicion would naturally fall on me. Whatever the reason, I'm really sorry for you getting caught up in all this. Well, now I have a better idea what's going on. You're tangled up in something messy as well. Still, I'm telling you all this doesn't prove whether I'm really put an end to Heavenly Ascension or not. Ask me anything, I'll answer. In that case, I'll fire that pussy though. Hey yo, what them hands be doing? What that demeanor be doing? Oh damn. But why did you form Heavenly Ascension? Why would you want to know that? I know you've been fighting for the rights of the Outer Rim. What I don't get is why your resistance took on the form of terrorism, or what led you to subsequent change of heart. He's like, I don't like this. That's why I want to know more about how it all started. I think it helped me judge better. Judge what, me? Yeah. Alright. You've been dragged into this mess. The least you deserve is to hear the full story. It goes back pretty far, though. Do you know what my name used to be? I've been getting that question a lot today. I think I heard it was Elysian Harper. That's right. Elysian Harper, that was my name until I chose to cast it aside. Elysian as in the company? Yeah, Stat Elysian. It was a name that came with a lot of weight. Having that name meant I was the next CEO, in other words. I was the heir to Elysian. The heir? Okay, so I was right. That would mean that you and Ingrid are half-sisters. We shared the same mother. I'm the younger one. Our mother was the former CEO of Elysian. Ah, that must be why Ingrid said she wasn't fit to judge. Your family. Yeah, I guess. I kind of figured the siblings was kind of the angle they were going to go with, but I didn't want to go all in on it. Why does this flashbang have 2 pins on it? It has a normal frag grenade pin and it has a triangle pin. Like, what the fuck? The triangle pin makes no sense because it's sitting on... I know the answer to this, but I'm just not going to bring it up. Honestly, I didn't realize she still thought that way. What kind of company do you think Elysian is? A company strangely obsessed with uniforms. I can't say I've ever heard that it described like that. Now that I think about it, though, you might be right. A lot of Elysian Nikkeis work in public service. At any rate, that wasn't ever the company's top priority. In the past, Elysian pursued only one thing: power. Power? Yeah, more precisely, the power of humanity. When the Raptures attacked, humans abandoned the surface and fled to the Ark. I'm pretty sure Elysian was like #1 on support for reclaiming the surface. My mother believed that in order to avoid extinction, only the strongest must survive so that humanity could grow stronger and evolve. At least that's what she used to say. At least. It sounds similar to Elysian's current philosophy, but also a bit different. That's right. Ingrid believes humanity must use technology to defeat the Raptures. But she's not so flexible on the sole pursuit of strength. Mother was different. She pursued strength to the point of obsession. That's why she wanted the strongest of her children to be her successor. Ingrid and I were constantly tested and compared. I came out on top, which is how I became the heir. And the reason why I was given the name of Elysian. If it wasn't for a certain incident, I would have inherited Elysian as planned. What incident? Did you know that Elysian built the Outer Rim barrier? What? No, I had no idea. Of course, it was the central government's proposal that initiated the process, but Elysian spearheaded the construction. Mother had long believed that the weak were meant to be called, so all the people that were underperforming were cast out, and felt that the garbage should be kept separate from human habitats. So she naturally welcomed the proposal. She knew people were living there in secret. She used to say they lacked gratitude for being allowed to live in the Ark, instead squandering their lives on gambling and pleasures. She called them garbage. At that time, I really thought the people of the Outer Rim were all like that. But then, during the final inspection of the wall, I was sent to the Outer Rim in my mother's place since I was the heir and all. That's when I learned for myself. The Outer Rim wasn't a mere trash dump. Just like the Ark, there were people living there. Real people, not garbage. Hey, what are you doing? Huh? Young boy and girl are startled and step back, dropping a fuse. What's wrong? It's sparklers, and it's pretty. You're going to light a dynamite fuse because it's pretty? You wanted to make light? Everyone says there's no light here. Yeah, we play around with fire on the mountain. The light was really pretty, so we just wanted to see it one more time. Is that not allowed? What are kids like you doing here in the first place? Where are your parents? How did you even... What do you mean? This is our home. You're home. Mom's here too. She's inside over there, I think. The children timidly glance at the fuse. Are we really not allowed to light a fire here? I really like to see more pretty lights. No, it's not allowed. You could get hurt if you're not careful. We could. Using Harper carefully looks at the mountain of trash. Use this instead. Huh? He picks up a sparkler that had fallen to one side of the trash pile and then lights it. A bright light begins to burst from the tip of the sparkler. Whoa. These are the only things you should be lighting, okay? Okay. That's when the thought hit me. People live here. I can't just ignore that. Puzzle for improving the living conditions of the Outer Rim residents. Elysian Branca tosses her tablet down. I sent you on such an important assignment so you could learn about what being my successor entails. But now it looks like you came back more foolish than when you left. Who are the residents of the Outer Rim? There aren't any humans there last I checked. Mother. That entire place is filled with garbage and nothing else. After being granted the privilege of escaping the surface and seeking refuge underground, they chose to hold themselves up in that dump that makes them garbage. You really view those things as people, and that tells me all I need to know about how poor your judgment is. There are children who were born there who aren't like that. It may be true that the adults who went there were weak and made foolish decisions, as you say. But those children never had a choice. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Being born in a dump still makes them garbage. What kind of logic is that? If their lives are meant to be anything more than that, then they'll find a way to survive, to get stronger, and to make it out of there. If they can't, it simply means they were born weak and they will die weak. Nature is survival of the fittest, but that's just pure fucking cruelty, man. See, as humans, we're different. We did for a long time follow the strong rule over the weak, and the strongest survive while the weak get devoured. But as humanity has improved, it has changed a light. It has turned to another light and philosophy of there are people that are physically strong and there are people physically weak. But there's also people that are mentally weak while there's a mentally strong. We've broadened the horizons of understanding of what strength is, and we found out someone physically weak can usually make up for it by being intellectually strong or mentally strong, and vice versa. So we've learned that our different strengths complement and negate our weaknesses. That's also too, we're social creatures. We are social animals, so we work together in social groups, not in solidarity. So I think definitely how the mom's acting is completely barbaric in my opinion. That's the law of nature. I've said it many times before. Humanity as a whole must become strong. Only by casting aside the weak, strengthening ourselves. Can we survive in this world where inhuman monsters run rampant? Have you really not learned that yet? Still, they're just children. You really can't understand. You aren't qualified to be the heir of Elysian. Don't become weak, Harper. The heir of the Great Elysian must not be swayed by pity for the weak. Be clear in what you keep and what you cast away. For the sake of a strong human race, the weak must be discarded. Otherwise, humanity will never grow stronger. Now, I will say too, with my statement before, I do want to add on as well, before people are like, oh, you mean stupid people can live? I'm like, well, everyone has a right to live. But also, there is a beautiful thing called Darwinism. Nature naturally gets rid of the traits, quote unquote, that lack survivability. We are creatures that make tools to assist ourselves in lives. That's what we are. Compared to a lot of other animals and shit on this planet, we are fucking weak as fuck. But we make up with it with making and using tools to assist us in the processes of life. And Darwinism does exist. So if you're gonna be stupid and touch an electrical line, that is a DC, which is direct current. Direct current is like the fucking. There's DC, like from my limited understanding of electrical work, electrical lines. There's DC, and there's AC. There's direct current and alternate current. Alternate current is what comes from, which is more regulated ampage and wattage. So AC is what comes into the house from the power box and from the transformer. DC comes from the power plant to the substation to the transformer. And the transformer converts that DC into AC. But yeah. But I am gonna BRB real quick. We'll continue with this. I just need to go to the bathroom. Alrighty, I'm back. It is only through strength that humans can avoid falling behind in this inverted ecosystem and accomplish the great feat of reclaiming the surface. Okay. It was then that a thought came to my mind. We only pursue strength in an attempt to avoid extinction, and in the process we discard our humanity. Can we really still be regarded as humans? When that thought hit me, I couldn't take it any longer. For days on end, I kept asking myself, what is true strength? And then finally, I came to a conclusion. If becoming Elysian's heir meant I wasn't allowed to think like that, then I would give up my position. Harper, Ingrid, are you really leaving? Things just turn out this way, sorry. Looks like we won't be getting tested together anymore. And Mother's okay with it? No. She was angry. She called me pathetic and wouldn't let me take anything with me, saying that maybe I get the sense knocked into me and come back. I've got nothing aside from these weapons. Do you really want to save that place that badly? Yeah. I'm going to turn the Outer Rim into a place where people can live like human beings. And then I'm going to show the entire world. I'll prove that there are real people living there, in the place everyone else calls a dump. And that they can no longer ignore them. And a mother. I'll prove the strength that humanity actually needs to pursue doesn't come from some extreme version of survival of the fittest, but that the strong need to help the weak and give them a chance to get stronger so that everyone else can grow together. Amen. And that is only by retaining our humanity that we can truly become strong. That's the strength of humanity that I am after, and what I want to prove to everyone. Things may not go the way you want. I'm not trying to say that everything Mother says was right, but there are definitely those who've given up and only take from others rather than making an effort themselves. You start preaching your ideas to such people, they might take advantage of you. There will be those who learn you came from the Ark, that you were Elysian's heir, and out of jealousy, they'll threaten and try to use violence. You won't be able to rest for even a second, and yet in spite of all that, you still want to hold onto your ideals. Well, when it comes to violence, unless they're Nikkei's armed like soldiers in the surface reclamation wars, they'll surely be weaker than you. So I think I'll be fine. You idiot. You can't let your guard down. No matter how strong you are, you're bound to fall if you get careless. I know. That's a valuable lesson Mother hammered into us as children. Look, I know what you're trying to say. The Outer Rim will be dangerous. I realize too, everyone there will be good like the children I saw. Even so, I refuse to give up. Harper. Unfortunately, that means I won't be able to help you. I know you wanted us to work together on your plan to make humans and Nikkei stronger through technology and tactics. Still, I'll be looking forward to watching you from afar as you create Elysian's finest forces. The Absolute Squad who will bring unmatched tactics to any fight. And the extranistic squad who will protect others from Berserk Nikes. That is okay, so yep, Absolute, which is Emma, Funhwa, and Vesti. Then you got Maiden and Guillotine, which are the ones that are meant for containing other Nikes that go berserk from corruption. I'm really hoping you prove to Mother that you're right. Let's both succeed at what we're trying to do, wherever we may be. Ingrid firmly grasps EH's hand. Take care of yourself. You too.
運動する時間もないなんて。結果は気に入ったか。中央政府の番犬ですね。
Not gonna lie, I'm really hungry. I'm definitely gonna get something to eat after this.
ちょうどいいところだったのに。
But we're about halfway done. I got a feeling it's just about another half hour to an hour. You came straight to the Outer Rim after that? Yeah. I wanted to change the Outer Rim. I figured I had to live here myself. And I'll tell you, I was surprised at what troubled me the most while living here. It wasn't the thugs picking fights because I was an outsider, or living in a house without a ceiling, which I'd never experienced before. Nor was it the thieves that tried to enter in whenever I closed my eyes. It was the fact that there was no light, just like those children had said. Aside from the faint glow of the Dome of Eternity seeping in from beyond the massive barrier, there was no light in the Outer Rim. So I decided to change that first. When I began, I noticed there was a bunch of wires everywhere that didn't seem to be used for anything. They were capable of drawing power, though getting electricity wasn't difficult. The challenge was finding someone in the Outer Rim who does electrical work before. I managed to finally find someone after a long search, and we began building street lights together. We gathered bulbs from the landfill that still be used, and installed them one by one. Wow, it's so bright. What is this? It's so pretty. What's the big deal? Why are you making such a fuss over a few light bulbs? They're too bright, I say. Why are you even trying to light up this landfill anyways? Your eyes will get used to the brightness. This may be the outer rim, but we're still human beings and we deserve to live in the light. Don't we? Well, I suppose that's true. I think we need to start trying to live more like people. After all, we're humans. Even if we may not live in the Ark. After that, I installed lights along what was considered the main street. Gradually, people began gathering under the light. And then eventually... Boss! 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 At some point, people began calling me boss, and that wasn't all. I want to live somewhere with more lights. I want to see a brighter world. I want to feel the world beyond the partition. They started saying these kinds of things to me. I figured that since I was the one who brought these people together, I had the responsibility to them. So I shouted, let us head towards heaven. Let us prove to the world that we are alive, and show them that we are people. One day we shall cross the partitions into the world overflowing with light. Let us ascend back into heaven. Hey, Spirit, S555, fives, for short. From that moment on, we took the name Heavenly Ascension. Yeah, Nikkei's got a really good story. Honestly, out of all of them, out of all like a lot of the gacha games I've played, I usually look at the story, like the first few chapters of a story for a gacha game to see what the premise is about. And of course, with most Eastern plot lines, it's mostly the apocalypse. So it's like in a gacha game, it's either A, school life, B, it's the apocalypse. C, sometimes it could be something random, but with a lot of the writing for a lot of other gacha games, they tend to fall off. But with Nikkei, at first I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I wasn't a super big fan of the soundtrack until you started getting a little bit later into the base game. But I was liking the premise and I was starting to like all the characters. And then I came full circle around as the writing actually has some depth to it, and a lot of the events that they do, which now a lot of gacha games are doing now, actually have the side stories that enhance the main story. So you start connecting all the pieces together to what the story's about. Instead of trying to explain it all in small little conversations in the main story. I see. But the more I hear, the less I understand. Why did you resort to terrorism? Everything you said sounded pretty far removed from the sort of violence. You're right. That wasn't how we operated in the beginning. At first, we were almost like a neighborhood watch group, just trying to make the Outer Rim a better place to live. We made people in the Outer Rim get jobs. It can be any kind of work, even the darker kind. No matter what it was, we made a rule that if you work, you receive compensation. Some gangs liked us and others hate us. But we appreciated all the established crime bosses the same. Not appreciated, approached. Trying to set matters by whatever means possible, then form tacit alliances with them. That's how we came to know Underworld Queen. We made agreements with them to protect one another, and that became the greatest source of strength at the time. Once word spread that they were backing us, smaller gangs fell in line a bit more, and they started protecting homes from Outer Rim residents in exchange for payment. Slowly but surely, the Outer Rim gradually stabilized, and that's when people started raising their voices. They said the time had finally come for us to speak with the Ark. We may have still been living in landfill, but at least we were living like humans. And they said it was time we showed the Ark that. So we tried. We secretly crossed the partition, but put up posters and shouted slogans. The Outer Rim isn't a landfill. There are many people who live there. Right now, there are many who are living amidst garbage without even ever seeing a single ray of light. Your attention can bring light to people of the Outer Rim. It can bring a new future to children growing up there. Bright light to the Outer Rim. Bring light to the outlaws. We focus on raising our voices, but don't trespassers get killed on spot if you're caught. Not back then. It wasn't difficult. It wasn't as difficult as it is now for outlaws to enter the Ark. Security wasn't as tight. Also, outlaws weren't considered a threat back then, but that also means there was no one was willing to listen. Right now, there are many who are living amidst garbage without ever seeing a single ray of light. Your attention can bring light to the people of the Outer Rim. God, my throat's getting so dry, of course. Boss, are you okay? Ugh. I don't know what you're going on about, but shut it. I can't stand the noise. Verbal and physical abuse felt almost preferable to nothing. It at least meant they were listening. The real problem was how the majority of the people were so indifferent. Everyone pretended not to hear, just staring at their phones as they walked past. What is she doing in the middle of the street? Excuse me. Oh no, I made eye contact. The woman wearing earphones hurries away. Felt like I was shouting into the void. And it wasn't just me. I'm sure everyone who was there with me felt the same. We decided to change our strategy and sent petitions directly to the central government. After we sent dozens, even hundreds of them, they finally agreed to arrange a meeting. We were hopeful that we were finally getting one step closer to what we wanted, but how come no one's here? It's been 6 hours. Did we get the date wrong? No. This is the right date. Elysian Harper looks at the door of the meeting room, knowing no one is coming. After that happened several times, we got the message. No matter how much we petitioned them, the central government would not meet us. Yeah, so it started escalating terrorism because you have to do just like how a lot of influencers are fucking loud and obnoxious and retarded now. is you gotta do bigger and louder to get people's attention. No matter how much we shout, the Ark would not listen. We grew more and more exhausted until a certain someone proposed something. If they refuse to listen to us, why don't we make it so that they have no choice but to hear us out? No way. It's Crow with her schizo eyes. We'll put on a grand fireworks show. One they can't possibly ignore. Yeah. It was Crow. It's all coming together now. Crow was batshit crazy anyways. And again, she's an anarchist, so... Damn, it was already a 9? Jesus. We're actually kind of blazing this last part. Crow was part of Heaven's Ascension too. Yeah. I don't know how she joined or who vouched for her. All I remember is hearing she was born in the Outer Rim. At first, she was quiet and diligent and devout. She patrolled the Outer Rim with us and went to the Ark with us to demand better rights. She went without hesitation to places other members avoided and withstood all the physical and verbal abuse and even the indifference. The reason why I thought of her as a comrade despite our philosophical differences was because I saw how devoted she was then. But at some point, she stopped being quiet and started speaking up, raising her voice, and expanding her influence. While I was away from the Outer Rim to meet with the central government, she built up a small faction inside Heavenly Ascension. That's how much influence she's gotten. You want to resort to terrorism? Are you out of your mind? Whoa, calm down. Why are you getting so worked up? Terrorism's a scary word. Don't call it that. Because the Ark is so bright that can't seem to see those of us who are living in the darkness. I'm just saying we should light off some fireworks to help them see better. But don't try to make it sound harmless with words like fireworks. Your plan is practically the definition of terrorism. You want to sneak bombs into key central government facilities and detonate them. A ton of people in the Ark would die. It would be catastrophic. Why should we care? Let the bigwigs in the Ark deal with all of that. Do you think anyone in the Ark cares about us? About how many die of sickness? Or how many children are going blind because of there's no lights? Or how many are killed by explosives that got mixed in with the trash? We screamed our lungs out, but they didn't care one bit. It's the same thing. Like, I can logically understand how it came to this. Once again, when people have had enough and everything they've tried doesn't work, you start going to the more drastic and extreme measures. So I see why this happened. I don't agree with it, but I see it. Our people dying from sickness or accidents isn't the same as outright murder. And unlike us, the Ark has a super high performance AI managing everything. Come on, boss. You've lived there before. You don't have to pretend like you haven't. We all know you came from the Ark. You. How dare you accuse the boss of being from the Ark? Do you have any idea she's done for the Outer Rim? Oh, of course I do. I'm well aware of how hard our dear boss has worked for the Outer Rim, and how much has changed since she came here. How could I not? You're a good person, boss. Even I know that. I doubt there's a single person in the Outer Rim who hasn't benefited from your efforts. We know how hard you've tried. That's why we've all followed you this whole time, including me. That never happened with anyone else. You threw everything away and came to the Outer Rim with nothing, then lived alongside us for years, and brought light to this dump that had been covered in darkness. But what resulted from that? No one listens to us. No one remembers us. Why? Because it isn't sustainable enough. That's the thing about people in the Ark. Their lives are so peaceful, and they've had so much handed to them since birth, that you can ask them as sweetly and kindly as you want, even raise your voice, and they won't so much as spare you a glance. If it isn't sincere, I don't think I'm saying. Sensational. Okay. That is how you say sensational. If it isn't sensational, they dismiss it as boring and couldn't care less. So what? What are you trying to say? And how does this all lead to us becoming terrorists? Terrorists? Didn't I say not to use scary words like that? We can still do what you want, boss. And go into the Ark and tell them what we think. All I'm saying is we need to add a little spice to our words. That we do it the outlaw way. We make it a game and get them more involved. If they find the bombs before they go off, the Ark wins. If they don't, the bombs go off first, we win. But seeing how they already have so much and we have so little, it's only fair that we apply just a tiny handicap to them. We'll know the entire plan, but they won't. Once they get engrossed in this little game of ours, they'll finally start listening to what we have to say. I guarantee it. So, Crow takes one step towards Elysian Harper. Just this once. I'd like us to do things my way. What do you say, boss? The look in her eyes told me that she'd go through with it, even if it meant having to go through me. She's spoken a way to rile others up, highlighting how we were together in this, and sugarcoating her words to downplay the crime and make it feel justified. Crow was an agitator, and a charismatic one at that. Yep, if you know how to appeal to the people, you can make them do whatever you want. Yeah, that's what happened with Germany back in 1932. Well, even before then, 1932 is when things started kicking up. The others were starting to agree with more and more what she said. And that's when I realized something. Boss, what we need isn't to throw a tantrum like timid children. We need a revolution. One with fire and blood, because the truth is, those things can't be avoided if we're going to get what we want. But that'll never happen if we do things your way. That's why I'm gonna do it instead. I realized I had to put a stop to it. No. I can't allow that. What you said is right. My way is peaceful and uneventful. It's never going to stir up the people of the Ark. I understand wanting to give them a shock. People might actually remember our names if we do. But killing people is a completely different story. All we'd be doing is giving them the go-ahead to shoot every one of us. And not just us, but everyone in the Outer Rim. Like you said, we have nothing compared to them. That goes for firepower too. True. If they get serious and come here for blood, we'd be lucky to escape, never mind defend ourselves. It wouldn't even be a fight. Of course, we've all snuck into the Ark before, so we might be able to flee there. But what about everyone else in the Outer Rim? The children, the sick, the elderly. Who's going to protect them? And it's not just the central government. The reason we were able to make a pact with Underworld Queen wasn't because we were so determined that we shed blood for our cause, but rather because we were protesting peacefully for our rights. If we do things your way, that pact would collapse. All the order that we've spent years establishing would collapse. Order, huh? That's why I'll never approve of your plan. Not just for our sake, but for everyone's. For everyone's sake. You say you're afraid of the central government will set their sights on all outlaws? That's easy enough to solve. We just changed what they've been shouting this whole time. Well, we've been shouting. What do you mean? We stopped saying bring light to the Outer Rim, bring light to the outer outlaws. Instead, we make sure they know it's us. Light is our right, heavenly ascension. We change our slogan. Then the government won't target everyone in the Outer Rim. That's not how that worked, or what happened, because they came in and started mowing down everyone anyways. Because once again, you are still seen like trash. Only heavenly ascension, right? That's... No. Well, you're the boss. I get what you're worried about. Crow picks up paper with her plan on it. Pretend I didn't say anything. Thanks for understanding. Like I said, you're the boss. Crow turns to leave and then stops. But there's one more thing you should know. Not everyone's like you. They don't all worry about the other people in the Outer Rim. And they're not all that patient either. Crow leaves the room. She seems dangerous. Shouldn't we keep an eye on her? Bleezy and Harper looks around the room. A few people glance towards the door, like they want to follow Crow out. Yes, please do. I had a gut feeling, though, that her plan couldn't be stopped. From that day on, Heavenly Ascension split into two factions. The moderates, who wanted to raise their voices without straying too far from the old ways, and the hardliners, He said the old way would never work and that extreme measures were required. Naturally, Crow led the headliners. And at the time, both sides thankfully understood one another, even if they disagreed on which method to use. We at least knew why everyone chose the way they did. And the hardliners didn't cross that line. But, as I feared, the hardliners kept getting more and more extreme. It didn't matter how much I tried to restrain them or persuade them otherwise. And before long, the ominous feeling I had was made a reality. The terrorist attack she had brought me that day was carried out in secret. They only changed the location. We just received news of a terrible tragedy. A large-scale terrorist bombing has occurred on the AFX train operated by Elysian. The incident took place on the train was entering the station platform. Explosives which came from within the passenger cars not only destroyed the train but also caused the station structure to collapse, resulting in a terrible tragedy. The central government has deployed numerous Nikkeis to site to conduct rescue operations. But due to the extent of the collapse, the number of casualties continues to rise. Meanwhile, according to the testimony of one survivor, a passenger on the train stood up, pulled out a detonator, and shouted following just before activating it. The AFX incident? Yeah. The worst terrorist attack in the ARC's history was set in motion by Crow. Light is our right heavenly ascension. Using her slogan, just as Crow predicted, after the AFX incident, the name Heavenly Ascension spread across the entire ARC. The thing we shouted, which no one ever listened to, finally spread everywhere. ARC citizens began to recognize that people live in the Outer Rim. As soon as public opinion started to deem the central government's initial response as inadequate, the government got in touch with us saying they wanted to enter into negotiations. Kind of negotiations. They said they would listen to everything we had to say. Of course, given how much death and destruction the attack has caused, we were on high alert. But the government assured us they were aware that only a small number of us were behind it, and that we could bring as many armed guards as we wanted if we were uneasy. Even still, I hesitated. The one who ultimately convinced me was my mother. I'll hear you out. Come if you want to clean up this mess. That was the message I got from her. So we decided to arm ourselves and head over. We figured that the attack had already happened, and sitting around wasn't going to change anything. How do you know? How do you think it went? Not very well, would be my guess. Why do you think that? If it had gone well, there would have been any more attacks. Bingo. It didn't end well. Just as we suspected, the meeting was a trap. A trap laid by my mother. When we made it to the conference room, it wasn't people in there were waiting for us. It was mass-produced Nikkeis armed with Elysian's latest weapons. You're kidding. The moment the meeting room door opened, they started firing before we even had a chance to react. In the storm of bullets, I watched as my comrades threw themselves in front of me. Stop, let me go. I should be in there. I should be dying with them. Get together, boss. You have to live. That's the only way their deaths will mean anything. One of them hoisted me onto his back and jumped out of the window. That's how I survived. Everyone who went to that meeting that day died. Everyone except me and the man who jumped out the window with me. I think, okay, so the guy that she's tracking down is probably that guy. That's terrible. After that, nothing could stem the tide. Not only did the majority of the moderates defect to the hardliners, but remaining a moderate became grounds for being labeled as a traitor. The resentment of being treated like garbage was for so long. The betrayal from being deceived into approaching the negotiation table. Desire for revenge on half of all comrades we lost. This is a problem today. No one's just willing to negotiate, but certain situations definitely don't require negotiations. Like, for example, terrorism. Me personally, in my own opinion, I think terrorism should never be negotiated because you need to look at it as stances. All right, if we give them an inch, they're going to keep asking for more. And eventually it's going to come to a hindrance of us and our people having to suffer for it. Like with current conflicts that are happening right now, I think negotiating with terrorists, personally, with some of these terrorists and their extreme ideologies, I personally think they just need to put down like dogs and call it a day. But in the end, she did try to do it the peaceful way and wanted to keep doing it the peaceful way, but people got fed up. You combine them with the precedent that Crow had set, and people began committing terrorist attacks all across the Ark. After that, there was nothing I could do. I know it all started with me. That I'm the one who pulled the trigger when I said we'd lead the Outer Ark towards the light. But once that bullet was fired, it fell out of control. Regardless of what I wanted, it was suddenly the leader of a terrorist organization. A leader who survived by hiding behind the bodies of her comrades. Did your mother even contact you again? No. She assumed full responsibility for failing to kill me, the head of Heavenly Ascension, and stepped down as Elysian CEO. That's why Ingrid had the CEO mantle thrusted upon her so abruptly. As for me, I cast off the name Elysian Harper. From that day on, I lived only as EH. I've become a powerless leader, incapable of doing anything. I wasn't even able to make decisions after that. All I could do was try to persuade them to carry out attacks that didn't kill anyone. That's pretty much how things were. Until the attack on the Ark that blew a hole in the Dome of Eternity. That's everything I can tell you. Does that answer your question? Yeah, I think it's enough. I appreciate your honesty. No need to thank me. This is the first time I've been able to talk so freely to someone. I really appreciate you listening. Whatever decision you make, I'll accept it. We've been in here a while. I'll try finding us a way out. EH stands. You wait here for a second. EH. Yeah? Do you ever regret it? Regret what? Leaving Elysian and going to the Outer Rim. Huh? I turned towards the sound. Came from over there, right? The sound came from beyond a wall piled high with metal crates. Yeah. Stay here. I'll go check. I should come with. Honey, can you hear me? Viper? Hey, smell boss. Command. Sounds like Jackal and Viper. Viper, Jackal, over here. Sounds them. Bosses. Boss, Commander. We're here. Get back. Sorry, my throat's really hurting. I'm trying to keep the enthusiasm. What do you? EH grabs me by the collar and quickly pulls me away from the wall. That sound. Get down. I quickly cover my head and duck. Boom. Shrapnel goes at my ass. There's shrapnel in my ass. Bomb. There you are. Is everyone okay? You're late than I expected. When I saw the tracker, I figured you'd come right away. Sorry about that. This place is used for cold storage, so the temperature weakened the signal. Plus, we had to make a short pit stop somewhere. Where? Cold storage. No wonder it felt so cold in here. Yep. I guess they figured this was the best place to jam any possible tracking signals. Wait, what tracker? Check the inside of your sleeve. That's what the handshake was for earlier. Feel along the inside of my sleeve. Huh? I detach a small cube, no bigger than my pinky nail. When you gave me the little boost earlier, remember? What boost? Bro, can't be this fucking dense. Bro, stop making the writing so dense sometimes. Now, as a sign of our trust and commitment, how about a handshake? That? Remember now? We were escorting you through the Outer Rim. We had to take certain precautions. And what do you know? It helped us find you. Sure, but I know I technically failed to protect you as I promised. But I did come and save you, so we're good, right? Good. I don't really get what you mean, but Commander's good. Yeah, sure. Thanks for saving me. Don't mention it. Oh, and by the way, we caught the guy who did this. You did? Yeah. That pit stop I mentioned earlier? We went and caught him. He actually had been upstairs eavesdropping on us. We subdued him, though. Wanna see? Yeah. I'll come too. Are you sure? It might be dangerous. Maybe you should wait outside with Jackal. I like to hear what he says. I'm involved in this too, after all. I want to know why he did it. Sure. Then let's go together. With Viper and Jackal leading the way, we go upstairs. Imman is there, bound to a pillar and gagged. He glares at us. Viper, can you remove the gag? Yeah, okay. Bro, just the man removes the gag. Why does it sound like some fucking chains, bro? What? What are you even doing that for? You should have just killed me. It's been a while. Melon. You've got a good memory for a traitor. I didn't know you were still alive. Last time I looked for you, I couldn't find you anywhere, so I thought you were dead. Why would I show my face to a central government lapdog? You'd only try to get me to quit Heavenly Ascension anyway. Why did you do this? Because I resent you. I couldn't believe you become a government lapdog. You were our boss. Why didn't you die back then? During the attack on the Ark. You should have just let yourself go get blown up with that surface elevator. You don't have to listen to this, EH. Yeah, there's nothing to hear that you haven't heard already. It's fine. You just died. If you just died without being a Nikke, then I wouldn't feel so betrayed. Someone had to take responsibility. You lived through it too. You saw for yourself the horror we inflicted in the name of terrorism. But no matter how it starts, no matter who incites it, no matter what the justification, as soon as the wrong methods are used, the message loses all meaning. A name can be branded into history, but our cause lost all of its legitimacy. We dressed them up under the name of human rights movement, but all those terrorist attacks were nothing more than violent crimes. Crimes that brought death and destruction on a whole lot of innocent people. We can realize that we were wrong and regret it all we want, but there's no changing the wrongs we committed. It doesn't ease the pain that the victim suffered. There needs to be someone who has to atone. Because pain and sin don't ever go away. EH. All those crimes we committed were in the name of Heavenly Ascension. So I thought it was the only right that I take responsibility for them. Atone? Huh. All by yourself? Yeah. I'm the one who started it. I'm the one who founded Heavenly Ascension. Who failed to stop Crow and the hardliners. Who ultimately decided to go to that meeting where so many of our people died. It was all me. I realized that since I'm the one who started all of this, I should be the one to end it. But by the time I made the decision, my body was already dying. That's the reason I became a Nikke. I wanted to have more time to atone for what we'd done. I think you should move on too. In that case, let me ask you one more question. In your entire life, has there ever been a time you just once, when you were regretting coming to the Outer Rim, instead of taking over Elysian? Did you hear us talking? Just answer the question. Do you regret it? I have more regrets than I can count. But coming to the Outer Rim has never been one of them. I swear it. You should leave Heavenly Ascension. Admit that what we did was wrong. Cast off your past life. That's the price you have to pay. No. Melon. You're a traitor and a hypocrite. I'll carry my share of sin with me. What? Another bomb? Where was he hiding that detonator? In his ass. We'll never be making it to heaven anyways. So I'll see you in hell along with the others, boss. Everyone, get back! Melon. Light is our right. Heavenly ascension. Reminds me of another saying said in a foreign language, but kind of gay and lame in my opinion. Damn, Bulletstorm for a boss fight is gonna end quickly. Damn. Bulletstorm's my favorite original OST song. When the smoke from the blast clears, we hurry to where Melon had been. Only debris from the explosion remain. For a brief moment, EH stares silently at the remains. Sorry to keep you all waiting. Let's get going. I'll take you outside. Okay. Following EH's lead, we walk towards the outer rim barrier. Viper, boss, commander? What's wrong? Why is everyone so quiet? Are you hungry or something? I'm hungry too, commander. Want to eat before we go? For goodness sake, Jackal. I'll buy you some food later, so just wait for now, okay? Yeah, sure. Jackal starts sniffing and moves towards a box in the corner. What is it? Is there something there? Smells like gunpowder. Boss, this is dangerous. Jackal lifts a small stick from the inside the box. That's sparkler. A sparkler? Do you blow it up? H takes a sparkler from Jackal. It's a sparkler. You light it like this. H lights the tip. Aww. Despite the depressing tone, this is a very wholesome moment. A bright light begins to burst from the tip of the sparkler. It shines like this. Wow, that's so pretty. Commander Viper, look, it's so pretty. Yeah, you're right. It's very pretty. I never thought I'd see one of these in the outer rim. Yeah, it really is pretty. EH stares at the sparkler intently. Her gaze filled with both nostalgia and regret. Those are the only fireworks you should be lighting. I want to hold one too. I want to light it. Jackal grabs a handful of sparklers and runs off. Wait, Jackal, lighting that many is dangerous. Viper runs after her. Mizuki. Yeah. If I ever get blinded again while chasing after the light and end up setting fire to something that isn't meant to burn, will you stop me, no matter what it takes? I'm sorry, that's a lot to ask. I don't think that day will ever come, because I'm positive you won't forget what you're atoning for. As such, I'm not going to agree to stop you. Instead, I pick up a sparkler and touch the tip of the one at EH hand. I'll watch and support you as you atone. That someday, you'll finally have atoned for everything and be free. In the shimmering light, EH gives a small smile. That's more than enough. Enter heaven, the end. had a depressing story, but a wholesome ending to that. And of course, with the with me being a goof and not realizing I was streaming this and not recording this turned out to be a little bit longer. But anyways, I want to say thank you all for coming by. I appreciate y'all. I love you all. My name's Mizuki the Nine-Tailed Paladin. I will be uploading the ending to the hard story when that comes out. Anyways, I will see you all next time.